Hey YouTube. But today I wanted to give a little bit of an update on our wood situation. It was a very, very long winter. One of the challenges to this long winter was not having enough wood. So, and that was partly to do with a heat pump issue that left us with only being able to burn wood and not rely on the heat pump. I'll do a video in the future about what I think about heat pumps personally. Let's just suffice it to say that it failed us when we needed it the most in the middle of winter. We were left using only the wood furnace and the fireplace for heat, which would have been fine, except we had 5 face cords of wood, and that is not exactly what we needed. What we needed on our property for our house to be heated all winter, what we needed was 5 true cords of wood, which is actually equal to 15 face cords of wood. So I made a huge calculation error when we had 5 cords of wood ready to go. Over the winter, we got this huge load of wood. And as you can imagine, this is going to be a lot of work cutting and splitting. But once it's done, this should be about 15 cords of wood. So this leads to what the title of the video is how to make a Holtzhausen, or how to stack wood in a circular shape. So the Holtzhausen is credited to Germans and Scandinavians, a way that they are, where still to this day, it is a very popular method for stacking wood. The way I see it is that even though North America has suffered a lot of big winters, they have not been stacking wood for longer than the Scandinavians and the Germans that have big heavy winters over there. I think if somebody's got a method that's been tested and tried for thousands of years, I think it's worth giving a shot over here in North America. So I'm going to try it. The idea behind it is the shape of it allows for air circulation to flow and causes that air circulation to dry out the wood twice as fast as if you just stacked it normally. So that is one plus. I think it looks really cool. That's another plus. And very importantly, you don't need any materials. You don't need a shed. You don't have to create your own walls or anything like that, because it is its own self-sustaining structure, which is great. The only thing you need, if anything, at the bottom to absorb moisture is to make sure where you put your Holtzhausen down that it has maybe some gravel. In my case, I'm just using up a bunch of bark that we don't need, so that'll be a moisture barrier when the wood is laid on top of it. Start with a circle. So the bigger the circle, the more stable the structure is, but you also want to keep in mind that the bigger the circle, the further your arm can reach into the center, because there is a center to this structure. So from what I've researched, 8-foot circle is probably the best. So you're going to be putting a stick in the center of your circle. Wherever you want to make this, you put a stick in the center and you measure 4 feet out all the way around. You attach a string to it, and you can maybe mark it out however you want. Some people use spray paint. I just used a stick and marked it out as I pulled the string around in a circle, and I've got my perfect circle here. I don't know if you can see it. From what I've seen, it's going to be around 2 face cords of wood for this diameter of a Holtzhausen. So these 2 circles should add up to about 4 cords of wood. And as I mentioned, it's 15 cords or so that I should be ending up with once that wood is cut and split. So there's room down the way here to make more of them. One other benefit to making the Holtzhausen is that when you're stacking wood, if anybody has experience with that, you know that your perfect pieces of wood stack quite nicely, but you end up with a lot of pieces that are not perfect for stacking. And this allows for the circle, once it's built, you're going to throw in the center of the circle all of the pieces of wood that don't fit nicely for stacking. So that is one huge benefit to this as well. And so let's get into it. 2 bases, and you see that they're parallel with the circle. And all the other pieces are just going to go around and around vertically across, being vertically supported by the logs. I only have this much wood to work with today, So this will be a process, and I guess I'll make several videos on it while it's being done, and then maybe just one compilation video of the basics if anybody's looking to see how to make this from start to finish. Okay, so this is a continuation video of the parts that I've shown before, and this is where we are with the Holtzhausen. We are just at the end of June and just getting a real start on this. Last time I left off, it was a circle around like that, and so then the idea was to stack the pieces of wood like this all the way around the circle, leaving the end sticking out just a little. So this Holtzhausen right now is about 3.5 feet high, and you can see here it's just been stacked all the way around in a circle, trying to keep it pretty equal with each other. Stacking these pieces of wood at the bottom helps it to be on an incline when you're stacking the wood. So when you go round and round in circles, after enough time, the wood is no longer angled downwards. It starts to actually become straight, and in some cases starts to point upwards, and you don't want that. So the idea is to, once you get about 3 to 4 feet high, you put flat pieces of wood all the way around one time. So I've got all this wood stacked, and then I went ahead and found some thinner pieces of wood and securely placed the pieces of wood on the end. See, all the way around. I put the flatter pieces on the end and went around in a circle. And you can see here that now that wood's there, the very next piece of wood, I have an example here, is going to be on an incline again, just like it was at the beginning. And so that keeps the Holtzhausen from tipping and keeps the whole structure solid overall. So that is where I'm at with this so far. Something else that I've learned along the way is when you're making those flatter pieces, it's a good time to just double check. I've been filling in any holes, like right here you can see there's some light shining through. It'll be much stronger if there's a piece there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a piece in there before I continue building up from that line. So hopefully we can get this project on the go and finished so that it has time to dry. But I just wanted to share what this looks like so far, and I will come back when I get this structure all the way to the top. This is what I have left to do for today, so I'm just going to go ahead and stack that along with you guys.